Open worlds aren't just about size anymore. They're about beauty. The kind of beauty that makes you stop mid-quest, put the controller down, and just stare. From neon-soaked skylines to golden fields swaying in the wind, some games are so breathtaking they feel more like art than entertainment. So today, we're counting down 15 open-world games so beautiful they'll absolutely blow your mind. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for number 1 because it's still the gold standard of visual immersion. All right, let's dive in. 15. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Ancient Greece has never looked this alive. Assassin's Creed Odyssey throws you into a world of sunlit seas, marble cities, and islands that look like they were painted by the gods themselves. The Mediterranean glitters under golden sunsets. Athens towers with detail, and every coastline feels like it belongs in a postcard. Fans loved the scale, sailing from one end of Greece to the other without a single loading screen. But some players debated the series' shift into full RPG territory, with dialogue choices and loot systems taking center stage. Love it or not, there's no denying Odyssey is a feast for the eyes. And if you thought sunlit seas were gorgeous, wait until you see the misty forests and mechanical beasts in our next entry. 14. Horizon Zero Dawn. Nature and machines collide in a painter's dream. Horizon Zero Dawn is a world where snowy peaks and lush green valleys stretch out for miles. Then suddenly, a towering robotic beast comes stomping through the scenery. The contrast is what makes it unforgettable. Serene natural beauty mixed with futuristic danger. What's even more impressive is that this was Guerrilla Games' first open world. Before this, they were known for linear shooters like Killzone. So the jump to crafting a sprawling, living landscape was a massive leap, and they absolutely nailed it. Exploring Aloy's world feels like flipping through a living art book, each area carefully designed to stun you at every turn. And just when you think it can't get any more beautiful, well, let's move to the sequel that pushed those visuals even further. 13. Horizon Forbidden West. If Zero Dawn was a masterpiece, Horizon Forbidden West is the deluxe edition in full color. This sequel delivers a wilderness glowing with life, towering redwoods, sun-scorched deserts, and even underwater coral reefs that feel alive with every ripple of light. Add in futuristic ruins draped in vines, and you've got a world that looks both ancient and alien all at once. On PlayStation 5, it quickly became one of the console's best showcases. Fans couldn't stop praising the sheer detail. Every leaf, every wave, every storm feels handcrafted for cinematic impact. It's the kind of game where photo mode almost becomes the main gameplay. And while this world is lush and vibrant, the next entry trades color for style, bringing cinematic samurai poetry to life in every frame. 12. Ghost of Tsushima. Every frame of Ghost of Tsushima feels like a moving painting. Golden fields sway in the wind, blossoms drift gently through the air, and distant mountains sit under watercolor skies. Instead of cluttering the screen with map markers, the game lets the wind itself guide your path, turning navigation into an art form. Sucker Punch crafted this world with deep inspiration from classic Japanese cinema and nature photography. The result is a landscape that feels both cinematic and alive, where every sunrise or storm could be mistaken for a perfectly framed shot. It's serene, it's poetic, and it proves that beauty doesn't always need realism to captivate. But speaking of realism, our next entry cranks up the detail to jaw-dropping levels. 11. Far Cry 6. Welcome to Yara, a tropical paradise caught in the middle of rebellion. Far Cry 6 throws you into a world of sun-drenched Caribbean beaches, dense jungles humming with wildlife, and neon-lit city streets that echo Havana's vibrant nightlife. It's a setting that feels both inviting and volatile as beauty and conflict constantly clash around you. Visually, it's one of the most striking entries in the series, but fan opinions are split. Some players praise Yara as a lush playground worth exploring, while others argue the Far Cry formula hasn't evolved much over the years. Still, when it comes to scenery alone, Yara is unforgettable. From tropical heat and neon nights, we move into a world where fire and ice share the same sky, an iconic land of dragons and legends. 10. Skyrim Special Edition. A legendary world reborn in crisp new light. Skyrim Special Edition took one of gaming's most iconic open worlds and refreshed it with sharper textures, richer lighting, and atmospheric effects that made the frozen north feel more alive than ever. Snowy peaks cut across the horizon, glowing auroras dance in the night sky, and every trek through the wilderness feels like stepping into myth. But what truly sets Skyrim apart is the community. Thanks to an endless library of mods, its beauty keeps evolving, turning rivers into crystal-clear streams, forests into dense jungles, and cities into sprawling works of art. Some modded versions of Skyrim don't even look like the same game anymore. They look like next-gen fantasies. And speaking of fantasy worlds reborn, our next entry might just hold the crown for the most beautiful expansion ever made. 9. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine. A painter's dream of vineyards, castles, and sunsets. The expansion took an already legendary game and transported players to Toussaint, a land bursting with color and life. Rolling hills are lined with vineyards, rivers sparkle under golden skies, and towering castles sit proudly against backdrops that look like oil paintings come to life. Even years after release, it's still praised as one of the most beautiful RPG settings ever created. The expansion showed just how far world design could go, blending fairy tale wonder with Witcher grit. For many, The Witcher 3 remains the gold standard, not just for storytelling, but for open-world atmosphere and immersion. But from fantasy legends and sunlit kingdoms, we're about to step into the future, a neon-soaked city dripping with rain and glowing with light. 8. Cyberpunk 2077 Next Gen. Night City is a neon masterpiece, rebuilt, refined, and glowing brighter than ever. The next-gen update transformed Cyberpunk 2077 into the visual powerhouse it was always meant to be. Towering skyscrapers stretch into the clouds, neon signs blaze across rain-streaked streets, and every puddle becomes a mirror thanks to ray tracing. It's dense, it's chaotic, and it's breathtaking. The game's journey is a redemption arc in itself. Once mocked for bugs and performance issues, Cyberpunk 2077 has since earned back respect, with many now calling it one of the most stunning open-world experiences of this generation. Night City finally feels alive, gritty, dangerous, and beautiful all at once. But after all that futuristic shine, it's time to head somewhere more desolate, a haunting wilderness of ash, snow, and mountains shrouded in myth. 7. Death Stranding. Bleak, lonely, and strangely mesmerizing. Death Stranding paints its world not with endless chaos, but with silence. Inspired by Iceland's stark beauty, its landscapes stretch into misty valleys, jagged cliffs, and rivers that cut through mossy plains. The photoreal lighting makes every horizon feel eerily alive, like you could almost breathe the cold air through the screen. Kojima's vision blends stark realism with surreal sci-fi touches, black tar pits swallowing the earth, ghostly figures drifting in the rain, and futuristic structures that look both alien and familiar. It's haunting, unsettling, yet impossibly beautiful, proving that not every open world needs to be crowded to leave you speechless. But if Death Stranding captures beauty in silence, our next game captures it in the chaos of battle, where gods and monsters clash across epic landscapes. 6. Elden Ring. A dark fantasy world carved straight from nightmares and myth. Elden Ring takes From Software's mastery of atmosphere and scales it up into something colossal. Mist-daped castles loom in the distance, crimson lakes glow under cursed skies, and shattered ruins sprawl endlessly across a land both terrifying and breathtaking. It's a world where every horizon tempts you to explore, and every corner hides danger. The beauty isn't just in its size, but in the mood, gothic, haunting, and majestic all at once. Fans often describe Elden Ring as less of a map than a living legend, a place where horror and wonder are inseparable. And while this world feels ancient and cursed, our next stop leaps far beyond, into a brand new universe filled with stars, planets, and infinite horizons.
5. Starfield. Step onto alien worlds that look like NASA's dreams brought to life. Starfield is Bethesda's most ambitious project yet, offering not just one open world, but thousands of them. Each planet feels handcrafted, from windswept deserts under twin suns to icy wastelands glowing beneath auroras. Then there are the futuristic cities, lit by neon skylines and sprawling spaceports that feel alive with exploration. The scale is staggering. No other open world lets you hop from a dusty moon to a thriving metropolis in the same play session. Whether you're charting stars, roaming alien landscapes, or simply watching a celestial sky stretch across the horizon, Starfield delivers that rare mix of realism and wonder. But while galaxies are infinite, sometimes the raw beauty of a single land can rival the stars, and the American frontier has never looked this cinematic. 4. Red Dead Redemption 2. Still the most lifelike Wild West ever crafted. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a game, it's a simulation of an era. Golden prairies stretch endlessly under burning sunsets, snowy mountains swallow you in blizzards, and fog drifts through forests in the early dawn. Every detail feels alive, from the way horses kick up mud to the way storms roll across the plains. Rockstar set a benchmark here. This is open-world realism at its finest. It's a place where players get lost not just in shootouts or robberies, but in moments as small as fishing at a quiet lake or watching the campfire glow at night. Years later, fans still call it the most immersive open world ever built. But if cowboys don't blow your mind, maybe soaring dragons and endless fantasy kingdoms will. 3. Dragon's Dogma 2, 2024. High fantasy has never looked this stunning. Dragon's Dogma 2 takes everything fans loved about the original and cranks it up with next-gen fidelity. Towering castles loom over sprawling battlefields, dynamic lighting paints every sunrise and storm, and colossal monsters clash across landscapes that feel limitless. Capcom's RE engine pushes the boundaries of open-world scale, making every encounter feel alive and every vista worthy of a screenshot. Fans are already buzzing about how this sequel elevates the fantasy genre to unprecedented heights. And while dragons dominate the skies here, our next entry lets you swing through an entire cityscape, web-slinging between skyscrapers in breathtaking style. 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. New York has never felt this alive. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 turns the city into a playground of stunning visuals, with ray-traced reflections dancing off skyscrapers, bustling streets that feel lived in, and cinematic day-night cycles that make every swing a spectacle. Fans are raving about how the game perfectly balances realism with superhero flair. Every leap, every web swing, every fight looks like a scene straight out of a blockbuster movie. The city doesn't just serve as a backdrop, it's a character in its own right. But as impressive as swinging through Manhattan is, nothing quite compares to the breathtaking beauty of the natural world waiting at number 1. At number 1, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a world so vast and detailed it feels alive at every turn. From the rugged fjords of Norway to the rolling hills and historic cities of England, every landscape is rendered with breathtaking realism. Rivers glint in the sunlight, snow-capped mountains loom in the distance, and every village and castle feels meticulously lived in. Ubisoft continues to prove why they're masters of open-world design. The attention to historical detail, combined with cinematic lighting and naturalistic weather, creates an experience that's both epic and intimate. You aren't just exploring a map, you're stepping into history itself. And there you have it, our countdown of 15 open-world games so beautiful they'll blow your mind. Whether it's sweeping mountains, neon cityscapes, or fantastical kingdoms, these worlds remind us why we play games: to explore, to get lost, and to witness the impossible made real.